Hello and welcome to Beyond Boundaries, a talk show that brings you the insightful and inspiring journeys of leaders who are changing the landscape of education in India. I am Abhishek Bhargava, and today's conversation is proudly presented by the collaborative efforts of Silverzone Foundation and Worldwide Scholarly Alliance. It's a privilege to welcome an inspiring torchbearer in education, Ms. Simi Bhatia, the visionary principal of St. Margaret's Senior Secondary School. With an impressive career spanning over 37 years, Ms. Simi's journey from a mathematics teacher to a visionary principal has been marked by numerous accolades and transformative initiatives. Her commitment to inclusive education and sustainability has earned her multiple recognitions, including the Most Active Principal Award and Savitribai Phule Samman for 3 consecutive years. That is something. A warm welcome to Beyond Boundaries, ma'am. Your remarkable journey is a source of inspiration for both educators and learners. And we are excited to bring forth your vision and your journey with our viewers.
Thank you so much, Abhishek.
So, ma'am, we'll be starting with the early journey and inspiration about how it all started. What shaped Principal Simi's ideology or her vision? So, your journey started at Miranda House and then Central Institute of Education. What inspired you to choose education, and how did these institutions shape your teaching style?
Privileged to have been born to the family of teachers. Another privilege that came across next was that I was lucky enough to go to a school, St. Anthony's, which was a convent and which groomed me a lot. And moving to Miranda House was just next step. And I was a student of BSc Computer Science, which is just batch from Delhi University. So a lot of innovations began there only, because that was something new for the university to have a computer science course, and a lot of learning. So much so the syllabus would change the very next year. So there was a lot of learning that was happening around. And fortunate to have stepped into the Central Institute of Education, Delhi University, which I very proudly acclaim that I am a CIN. And for each one of us, if you would ever talk to a CIN and if they're talking to each other, you see the sparkle in the eyes.
Yeah.
It is what the atmosphere at CIE, trains you with. It's been my teachers there who have been very formative, who would drill us and train us. They said 9 to 5 is time to be on your toes. And that gave a lot of, footwork to do for my remaining part of the career as I moved to teaching in St. Thomas Mandir Marg as a mathematics teacher for more than 24 years.
24 years.
And it was a wonderful journey. Lots I learned from my colleagues, my mentors, their principals, and my students, who are still a part of my big family. And from there, I moved on to Maharaja Hussain as a vice principal, which gave me a paradigm shift to learning about beyond education. How do you deal with, the technicalities, policy making, implementing it, getting teamwork done around. So that was a big grooming before I reached St. Margaret as a principal.
Okay. So those values were inculcated in you from Miranda House then to Central Institute of Education. And taking from this conversation, I believe that you have always been inclined towards education and technology, because your first ever course is computer science, and
Yes.
as you mentioned, it was the first ever batch. So how did you, because
Luckily enough, as I would like to interrupt and say, I was the first one in my school to take up an online class when the pandemic happened.
okay,
18th of March, I conducted my first session.
first session. Okay. So you have always been inclined towards technology.
Yes, I have been.
Okay. So can you share a story where you witnessed yourself how education has transformed the student's life?
For a student, I think education has really taken a 360-degree turn from our times, the times I have seen, and the times I've heard of. From those rote learning times to moving on to writing skills, learning skills, moving on to technology-based education, and moving on to a new NEP policy, wherein you see a lot of change around, variety of subjects to choose from, variety to, competency-based education, which it has reached now, and AI-driven things happening now.
Yeah. Every other day, some new innovation coming out.
Children have been really very adapted to the new things that have been happening, and and learning a lot.
Okay. So, math can be intimidating. I know it has been for me. Yes. So, and you have taught it for 24 years. How do you make it
Not 24, I taught it for 35 years.
35 years?
Yes.
Sound correct.
Yes.
So, we have taught it for 35 years. How do you make it fun and approachable?
It is very interesting once you know what the problem is. When I was a student, there were a lot of things that would happen as a maths student around. There were methodologies, there were rote learning, they were practicing around. But then I found where the struggle was. So when I became a teacher, and that too, or a mathematics subject like this, I knew where the child was struggling through. So making it fun, bringing in methodologies, and reshaping them to, okay, thoda hua, do a little more. And doesn't matter, let the goals be small steps, but you'll have giant, steps later.
Yeah.
So I have seen that all happening in the classrooms. There have been times children have come up with innovative answers, but that's where you give them the freedom to speak and not just dictate things around. So as a mathematics teacher, I had also been very instrumental in creating activities based for them, which have been very, very creative. I think creating a maths, brochure on destination places of mathematics when you
Okay.
the year of tourism. Children came up with grand ideas.
Could you share some, like, if we would like to?
My children had prepared one on country as Greece. Now, Greece has been a hub of mathematics right from the times of Pythagoras to wherever we have reached today. So, not only just finding out the destination, but bringing a brochure as to what a brochure should contain. That was an integration of education. Bringing in English, bringing in social sciences, bringing in all of them together. And they had also put up like seminars and workshops to happen in Greece. So, what puts you as a mathematics students to visit Greece?
Yeah.
So, bringing it as a mathematical tourist destination.
So you have to have that motivation inside. You have to do your research and then
Had fairy tales converted into mathematics.
mathematics.
So this has been
That is a creative activity, I would say.
lots of them. We
Yeah.
had rap songs.
Okay. Rap songs on mathematics.
Yeah.
We'd like to see some videos as well. Definitely.
Probably with such creative ideas. You just have to give them the idea,
Yeah.
the spark, and then it.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, ma'am, how do you balance academics and extracurricular activities in your school?
Extracurricular activities give them a footage to do well in academics also.
Yeah.
If they don't do it well there, if they don't participate, if they don't come out, they will never get confident of what they're learning. So I true. That has been a very big strength that I have been, inculcating in them. And I've been wanting them to, evolve as learners.
Come out of the
Who are
comfort zone.
All-rounders.
Yeah.
Who are all-rounders. Participate, doesn't matter. You win or you lose, it doesn't matter. When you go around and hear 10 more people around, there's some knowledge you come back.
Yes, that's true.
So giving them a lot of platform to participate and understand has given me a lot of difference in the academic attitudes that I see around. They very happily learn and do things.
And you get that satisfaction when you could see them growing.
It is very satisfying to see them groomed up as all-rounders.
Yeah,
So
that's true. How did you experience that vice principal at Maharaja Agri Model School prepare you for your current leadership role?
this was my grooming ground for 11 years under the leadership of my principal, my trustees, the mentors, and my teaching staff there, along with my students. It was a big learning experience. Being a part of policy making to just being an educationist, teaching in a class, it was a major difference. Whatever I always felt was missing, I could do a lot of things now.
Okay.
And a lot of creativity that came out with doing a lot of things with them, whether it was conducting an annual day for them, whether it was having a nice seminar or workshop for them, things that I knew they lacked and how to work on it, gave me a lot of footage. So I was groomed very well at Maharaja Agri to take up the leadership role at St. Margaret.
And so now you're using those lessons
And many more.
into
And many more, because my new team is again teaching me a lot. We have a team, there is collaboration, there is teamwork, and there is trust. I think that's what carries education and a leader forward.
So those are the three values of collaboration and working together.
Absolutely,
Collaboration,
absolutely.
Trust and teamwork.
And for my children, I have my favorite quote from Mark Twain. Wherever I have been, this has been with me always.
Okay, so that's a guiding force.
The greatest natural resource is the minds of our children.
That's good.
That's why Walt Disney actually.
Okay. We'll definitely get that shot as well.
Yeah.
So, taking over as a principal of St. Margaret School during the pandemic must have been challenging. How did you adapt your learning or the methodologies that you talked about, and then taking the first ever session on 18th of March? So, how did you adapt during this transition?
The transition was surprisingly very quick. The teachers very fast adapted to it. There were hesitations, there were limitations. Hindi teachers would desist. How do we do our work? How do we do the writing work? How do we connect with the students? Students come up with naughty things around because they are a step ahead in technologies, literature. But then we transformed all this into a
Something more meaningful and concrete.
more meaningful, and even adapting those children to help the teacher embrace the technology as well. It was, teacher would tell them, share the screen, even if you're not able to do it. And how they were given responsibilities to do what they knew better.
Okay.
And I think that created a bond also, wherein the children and the teachers got very closer to each other. Of course, the teacher has reached the home.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful. That's such a beautiful thing. So, ma'am, you have so many awards and recognitions. Winning Savitribai Phule Samman for 3 rows consecutively. That is such a big thing. I mean, doing something and then getting rewarded or getting an award is something. But then again and again, could you educate our viewers about this award? Like, what is this about?
this is introduced by our Sahodaya clusters. CBSE has a lot of Sahodaya clusters. Luckily, my Sahodaya team is a wonderful team, and my first award was as a teacher. Okay, the second ones were after taking up as a principal, where I mentored another teacher, and those teachers got the awards along with me. So that's how it is.
That's nice.
Savitribai Phule is
Okay. And what initiative or values helped you achieve this award?
the teamwork, the trust on my teachers, and helping them forge ahead as a leader, putting them before you makes a lot of difference.
Service the full self.
Yes.
Okay.
It makes a lot of difference. If you initiate them into various practices, doing things around, they come up with wonderful things to do as well. And a lot of responsibility that I can see in their eyes then.
Okay.
And once an award or recognition happens, the teacher is motivated to do even better. Others are motivated to reach up that step. So, makes a difference.
And the Ingenious Principal Award highlights your innovation. Can you share a program or initiative that you're particularly proud of?
We've had a lot of them. One is academically based initiative. The very first year I found, in the month of January, February, children would sit back at home, not come to school, and those were board classes. Of course, that was pandemic time and not many were
This was 2022.
22. January 22, I'm talking about. And the difference in 2023, I would just tell you the difference. In 2023, the same month, my children were coming to school. I had children coming on each day before the exam, after the exam, sitting and studying with the teacher. But any doubt they had their teacher, they had their tiffins with me, they would spend the whole time in school. And this was not just for the board classes, this was for the whole school. In between the days, we had those classes which we have very, very specially created for them. And these children would come up and learn a lot, and they were able to write better in their exams than ever before. So this initiative for us has really, really nurtured a lot of students around, so much so that I can very proudly proclaim my last year's class 12 topper
Okay.
had 100% attendance for 2 years, which also included the days which when he had exams for CBSE, he would come to
School.
sit and study. He would go and give the exam the next day. The next day he would come back whenever there were holidays. He would sit and study here. He finished with a score of 100 in 3 subjects, 4 subjects and a 98 in another one.
Oh, that's
So it was an outstanding.
103 and 94
Yeah.
in the fourth one.
Yes.
Okay.
And 98.
98.
98 in the fourth one. So it was a big achievement for the child and the parent, and it
For you and for the school as well. I mean,
just left a lot of mark on the other students and other learners around how it can really make a difference when you sit and study with your teacher rather than walking up to your tuition classes,
yeah.
which I find I encourage them a lot
Yeah.
because the teachers are much more qualified than their tuition teachers and must focus here.
Yeah.
And been trying to engage them
Okay.
to that.
Okay. So now Are the students also following the steps of?
Yes, they are.
Okay. What's your approach to blending traditional teaching with the modern technology?
Modern technology has to work as an asset to have the learning that is very traditional. We cannot forego our traditional learning because that's what has, it's time tested, we would say. India has been a Jagat Guru because of these things that we have been told.
The Vedas and Upanishads that we have.
But I am also associated with the Delhi Association of Mathematics Teacher as in the position of a treasurer.
Okay.
And we have we recently celebrated India Maths Day when we talked about Radhanath Sikdar.
Okay.
He is the one who actually measured the height of Mount Everest, which goes to Mr. Hillary and Everest. And he was the one who measured it using the laws of trigonometry. So children need to know their foundation and their roots are very, very
Yeah.
So that is what will help them. Knowing the life of Radhanath Sikdar has many of them. Once they learnt about it, I'm sure there will be many more Radhanath Sikdars than you find around. So that is how.
And professional development is a key stake in education, right? How do you support your teachers' growth?
We have a lot of capacity building workshops, and not only that, we in our school also promote a lot of workshops by learned people who would come and do things which are with the hands-on activities with them, and the teachers are given, upside flip on that completely. I mean, they have been learning a lot, doing whether it is just measure making. We recently had one in the last month based on assessment and paper making tools around. What happens is when you go for something, I have my teachers who are more than 2 decades here, been working in the same school. There comes a complacency when you're writing down those, question papers and all. Learning and uprooting and staging yourself and getting in with the new technology and tools is very, very essential. So upgrading their knowledge on this, we have those workshops where and we're running a program called Samanvay. Samanvay is the teacher, student and the parent collaboration. So in their collaboration, we have workshops, we have parenting sessions for their parents, knowing what kind of problems are they facing and how can school help them to do it.
Okay.
And my managing director, Mr. Naveen Goswami, is recently penning down another book on parenthood.
Okay.
And he's written one before that, Be Positive. And he's a big motivator, and he is also a very importantly inclined towards the development of the school, which makes a lot of difference in our growing up in the school.
Okay. And now what about your personal development? I mean, being the principal of the school is a big responsibility on your shoulders.
Each day is a challenge.
Every day you have to take decisions, either good, bad, but that decision has to be taken. Do you have, or do you go to someone who is mentoring you?
Being given a lot of the power to take up those decisions around, though he's there to help me out most of the time. And not only that, it's the school which helps me. My teachers, we take a meeting, we collaboratively decide and take decisions on various important.
Such informed decision making in your
Those
school.
branches of policy that comes from up, we work on it as a team together.
Okay. And now what about your leadership style? Like, I know that from the conversation I can take it like it's collaborative.
All just collaborated, and a lot of trust that I have on them. It's a team that needs to be led, and I have leaders at various points as coordinators, HODs, who help me take up the team forward.
Okay. So as we move towards the end segment of our show, this is time for rapid fire. Ma'am, I will give you one word, and you just have to answer whatever pops up from.
I'm very happy to receive rapid fire from you.
So, just are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Brace yourself. Ambition.
Being a good human being. That still remains with me.
Okay. Confidence.
Good.
Values.
Nurtured well.
Olympiads.
Love them.
Indian publishers.
Need to grow.
Moral values.
A must for the children.
Ethics.
Very important for all human beings, especially if you're born in a country like India.
Indian education system.
Evolving.
Evolving. Teachers.
need to upgrade a little more. But I'm sure the warriors,
Okay. And students.
they're lovely as always.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That was the rapid round we have. You mentioned for Indian publishers that they need to grow.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
We need to grow up because they have a tough competition with technology now.
Okay.
It's not just printing the books that
Yeah.
on. If I still rank a newspaper to reading the news on a mobile, I would still say the newspaper in hand is worth $1 million.
Okay.
Because that's what I have learnt and grown up on. I feel that little, the paper in your hand gives you that little hang on learning what you're learning around and reading what is there. But now what's happening is everything is done in such a way that you have an online thing available. Now you're putting the children back into that technology in a different way.
They're already on their phones 24/7, and now you're giving them study here.
Staying
So-
away from the mobile is very early. We have another initiative, since you're talking about it, we have another initiative in the school which says mobile ke liye very, very important thing that you have. It's a very interesting initiative which is, it says that you put your mobile aside and spend time together.
Okay.
Have you been taking that initiative in the school?
Like spend time with your colleague, your friends, or with the teachers.
एक तो है फेंकिए मत. One is this.
Okay.
The other one is that you need to spend time with your, mobile हटाकर. So
ठीक है.
there's a little word that I have.
That's okay. We'll add it later on.
I'll give you that word.
So we will talk about I see this plant over here. This is also again another sustainable initiative that you have introduced in the school.
It has been for past 8 years.
But here.
Sensoraria is a plant which gives oxygen 24/7, and we encourage our children and the school team to gift a plant.
Gift a plant. So this is the initiative: gift a plant, gift life. So any student can gift it to another student or teachers or parents, and this is absolutely available at the school. So that is a very nice initiative that you're having. How has the response of this initiative gone? Like, do you?
Wonderful. My children do it, and we have them in the assemblies. They pick up, gifting the chief guest or anybody who's coming in the school, giving a plant and, talking about it. And children really know it on their tips that this is one gift everybody would love.
Yeah. So, ma'am, before starting the conversation, you mentioned we don't use exam anymore or Olympiad word anymore. It's assessment or some other word. What is the reason behind it? I mean, I want to know about your perspective.
This should be more of, activities which are based on learning. When you put it the name Olympiad, it is the same thing which goes on rotation everywhere. What happens is you have it for one subject, you have it for second subject, you have it for third subject. There should be a collective collaboration and have one test where the children should understand that, well, you can also make out from there who's the child who's good at a particular subject. In that same testing, you can diagnose that as well. Rather than having it for different subjects differently, whether it's a cyber Olympiad, whether it's an English Olympiad, for the little ones it is an Olympiad. It should be gathered together as one unit and let the children appear and let them, when they're doing such an exam, they get to read questions based on other subjects which they may not like it earlier.
Yeah.
And when they read more about it, they'll find more answers.
So kind of introducing them to a new concept, but subtly. You're not like all 30 questions based on English or maths. It should be a mix and blend. What about the assessment? I mean, I've heard of from many principals and teachers like Olympiads give assessments as well. But is it any different from the school result, or does it help teachers to identify, okay, my students are lacking in, for example, maths, then we need to do something about it?
It does make a difference, yes, because when you have an assessment happening outside the school, with different people making a paper and compared with the lot who's appeared for the examination, it gives you an eye-opener to do a lot of things. Like we had one of the things that happened in the country a few years back, that was the PISA test that was given to Indians. That's where we decided that Indians gone back to the second last level there. And that's where a lot of, competency-based educational parts and all that had started, that change and revolution in education started happening once that PISA test was.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happen and a big learning happens with all of this. It's not that.
And you were talking about, before we pivoted to the initiatives, we were talking about how Indian publishers have to, still focus on the printed material, not just pushing
It has to be interesting. it has to be something which you feel like reading.
Okay.
That feel has to come in.
So are you talking in, I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you talking in perspective from, like, there's a design part, like colorful pages, beautiful illustration,
Design.
and then the content in there.
Content
Okay.
should be an upgraded content. It should be, if you're talking about, say, some kind of, let's say, history for that matter. If you're talking about a fact, bring up the newer things that are happening in that field.
Okay.
And
So something relevant, and then what's happening.
Relevance is very important.
Okay.
Relevance is very important because that's how children learn. And it should have an integration with other subjects also. It's not just just the facts around.
Yeah. So integration of multiple subjects in just one, so that they're aware, like, for example, history.
That's a must now because that's what NEP also talks about. That's where we grow up from there to this. Because NEP will bring back the same thing around. It has been molding us to, connect, integrate languages, subjects, do it in indigenous languages, vernacular languages are given a priority.
Yeah.
Children are given more open spaces to learn by doing.
And also learning about
At least
past of
it's
India.
being used in our classes.
Okay.
I mean, it's like picking up things and learning what you want to learn early. I have my class 1 and 2 with one very interesting classes known as the SBL classes, Skill Based Learning.
Okay.
Wherein my nursery staff goes to 1 and 2 and takes up some activity with them. Sometimes it could be just a storytelling. Sometimes it could be learning, just peeling off the peas.
Okay.
Learning some motor activity in the class, tying up the shoelaces, packing your bag,
Yeah.
putting your uniform in order, folding a shirt. So those are the skills we teach them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So we have once a week that session.
That's once a week.
Go to those
Okay.
classes.
And this happens like at the beginning of the week or
This is towards Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
I 1 and 2 take the classes on SBA.
SPL. So, ma'am, mentoring is a big part of your journey. How do you nurture not just academics, growth, but also life skills into students?
Very, very important. Like I just spoke about SPL, the skill-based learning thing around. Life skills are very, very important around because that's what it was going to make them stand in a good stead outside the wall. Simple learning or doing the marks is not sufficient.
Yeah.
So a lot of activities, we have big club culture in the school. Every Friday for an hour, children choose on their own whether it's like shutterbucks, whether they're learning to use the cameras, whether they are doing master chefs around, or whether they are into literacy things around, literary learning where they learn and do a play at the end of the year.
Cool.
Nature Nurture Club where they go in the grow things and do a lot of work on and there's an eco club as well. So lots of things that they're learning around.
Okay.
And there's somebody who's interested in art and aesthetics is into it.
Okay.
Somebody is very fond of physical exercises, has a good session around to play during that time in a various way.
And so how long are these sessions? Like 1 hour, 2 hours? 1 hour session.
Session a week. We're also giving them abacus and Vedic maths introduction in this class.
Okay. So now because the government wants students or just in general to learn the roots about India, because we've been always
Absolutely.
learning things about from the Western culture, but we have forgotten about our own.
Absolutely. Even if we celebrated Fibonacci's day yesterday, there was another Varamai. We had a mathematician who founded 600 years before him.
Okay. And people don't know about it.
People don't know about it. For us now, mathematics is, when we talk more about mathematicians, we talk about Ramanujan. Of course, a big legend, but there are many more.
Many more. Yeah. So now looking back at your 37 years in education, what has been the most beautiful and meaningful moment for you?
Beautiful and meaningful has been when I, see a little smile on the face of the child when you're teaching them. And you see the concert drill and gone from here to there.
You could see that information.
Worshipful moment. There cannot be a better moment than this.
I can see the spark on your face right now while you're telling about that.
Cannot be a better moment than this. You say and the word is gone across and it is received well there.
Yeah,
I think
that is the most. That's
the most passionate moment I feel.
Yeah. And what are your hopes for the future of education, and how are you preparing St. Margaret School for it?
My children are growing up, my teachers are grooming up, and I see them in a very good state in the near future because we believe in education for life.
Okay, so lifelong learner.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to be lifelong learners. So definitely the future is ripe for education in the country because there have been a lot of changes and they're being embraced as well. That's the best part. Though we are, testing and time testing and again, but then we are coming up to things that we really find relevant and we are learning through them.
So how do you embrace when you say like you will embrace
You
these
see
things?
that
Like,
during pandemic, how teachers like warriors picked up many of them had not touched the phones before this, did not use the laptops before this, how they were onto the technology and were really driven home there, which was very, very interesting. So not only that, now coming to NEP, we're getting to embrace ourselves as an NEP ready school soon now. We're coming to the policies, to things that are being...
is this an initiative from the government, NEP ready schools or?
Yes.
Okay.
It had to be, starting this year or so, but very soon it's going to be there. So this whole system of capacity building programs and is training the children and the teachers to get ready for trying to be an NAP ready scheme.
So ma'am, we were talking about multiple initiatives that you have been the torchbearer in your school and before that as well. We recently talked about Gift a Plant, Gift Life. Is there any other initiative that you would like or particularly proud of?
You have one of them which is very close to my heart is Disconnect to Connect. These days, there have been instances where children say, wish I was a mobile. The child writes down, if you see those reads around and hear it, It is so true that everybody is so occupied and they don't want children to use it. It's not very easy to preach once you're not practicing yourself.
Yeah.
So it's very important to disconnect and connect with your child. Maybe for some time during the day, everybody sit together, put the phones away. So we've been telling our parents and children through our very important Samanvay program, which is based on, complete collaboration of student, teacher and parent.
And parents.
Like it is very nicely said around, you would bring the child to school, and this is a parent bringing the child to the teacher. The teacher says, this is for me to keep and room for a while. And finally, both of them hold their hands and they say, it is ours to keep.
Ours to keep.
The well-grooming of the child will happen through the parent
And the teacher as well.
Yes. The collaboration is so important. And Disconnect to Connect actually connects the parent to the child. It's so important for them to understand what are they going through, people don't talk about these things these days. They will talk about a lot of things around, but they will not about these little talks around. Yes.
So ma'am, so we talked about policies in India, we talked about education, we talked about publishers, we talked about Olympiads, we talked about your journey. But there is one common factor in each of the statements or the topics you discussed is parents. How do you see, because we have seen how teachers are adapting to technology. We have seen how students are already ahead of that, using that technology. But what about parents? What do you think, what is their role now and how has that changed?
The role is well defined, but unfortunately not followed up.
Okay.
Things have changed because they feel schools are, it's a business now for them. They are the clients. Yeah. They need, the child is the prince or the princess being served in the school.
Yeah.
So those little things are missing. Where, children are not learning how to cope up with things that will come eventually in life. And they're overprotected by the parents most of the time. And that makes a lot of difference in the development of the child.
Yeah.
The holistic development is hampered by this kind of an attitude. They need to be slightly stronger. You have two variety of people. One variety says, "Aap kuch bhi karo ji, aapke paas se," There's one variety says, "How dare you tell my child?"
Yeah. How did you scold?
So the mental harm and all those things, those are the terms which are embedded in the children through these little instances now, which is not good because children are taking advantage of this because of all this.
And then teachers are not able to give those lessons or pass on to that.
And they have to understand and believe in the teacher because she's meaning good for your child.
Yeah.
So that little thing makes a lot of difference. Little ones have turned the terminology like it is, my mental health is being disturbed.
Yeah.
Which is not good. Yes, we need to take care of it and not, saying that.
It's not something to discard about, but then not to introduce them at
undue
such
advantage is not.
So what would be 2 pieces of advice that you would like to give the viewers, the parents that who are watching this?
Believe in your child and believe in the school system that's, bringing up your child because you put your trust and faith, you have to stay by it.
Yeah. So ma'am, your journey from a maths teacher to an award-winning principal is truly inspiring. Your dedication to inclusive education, sustainability and innovation beautifully blends traditional values with modern teaching methods. Thank you for sharing your insights with us today. Your story has inspired me, and I'm sure it will inspire nationwide educators and learners. Until next time, subscribe to our channel, Beyond Boundaries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Abhishek.